think I'm gonna make it before dark. Holy shit, what a day.
Hello, my name is Billy Busby, and today I want to review the newest Impossible Route film on the Vegan Cyclist channel. For those that don't know, the Impossible Route series is like a feature-length films series on VC's channel. They're on YouTube, they're free. Go out of your way to go watch them, especially if you haven't watched like the newest one, because I'm gonna get into some spoilers here. All right, so let's get into this. So this is the Impossible Route 4, right? The Telluride, Hell Ride, I believe is what it's called. And I really think that the series has found its footing here. The inclusion of Ryan Petrie really helped this episode out. I like the idea that they included a local on this ride, because like it's one thing to see like people from different parts of the country come together to an area and ride it, but it's another thing when you get those two people coming together with somebody that lives there and rides that area all the time, especially when you're dealing with elevation, right? This is the best looking cycling film I have seen in recent memory. Everywhere the camera points is amazing. Kudos to that production team, man. Like everywhere you see these guys riding their bikes is just absolutely gorgeous. The cinematography is amazing. And I know Tyler would probably want to do that in every episode that he produces. Who wouldn't? But it's hard to do that and ride your bike at the same time. It's almost impossible. That alone is almost impossible. Dude, like the scenery here is amazing. I've never been to that part of Colorado in real life, and everywhere that camera points again is like just absolute magic. I know Jeremiah is a mountain biker. I don't know a whole lot about Ryan, but I'm pretty sure he's a mountain biker as well. And if I was a mountain biker, I would consider a ride like this mountain biking utopia. It was just gorgeous. It looked to be like exactly what you would want on a mountain biking ride. Not like a downhill park-ish kind of ride, but like on just a ride, right? Like I'm gonna go get on my mountain bike and just go have an adventure. This seemed to be like the epitome of what that should be. I'm a complete and utter novice when it comes to riding bikes, but it seemed to be a very wise decision for them to not take gravel bikes out on that course. Some of that terrain just looked impossible. It looked impossible. And I really appreciated like Ryan at the beginning when they were like going over this route, and he's looking at them like, what are you guys thinking? Like, it's almost like they were trying to design a ride that they were never going to be able to complete. In their defense though, they did not know this terrain. They didn't know what it was going to happen. Like they didn't know. So I think maybe they felt that they were overreaching a little bit, but they didn't know. And I think Tyler even brings that up at some point in the film where it's like, you know, you don't really know. And I don't want to spoil the ending completely, but he got pretty close, right? Like they all got pretty close to accomplishing their destination.
These impossible routes, we gotta have this aha moment where the plans on paper diverge.
So at the start of the film, Tyler mentions that he probably should have bowed out of this thing. And I don't know, man, like this is the first one of this series that Tyler looked happy and like energetic to be there. Yeah, I know he's had a busy year, right? He's had a crazy busy year just with the YouTube stuff. But in this film, like Tyler really seems to be enjoying himself. Like he really seems to be out there having a good time. I didn't know when this film happened, so I reached out to Jeremiah on Instagram, and he told me that this was in September. So I don't know what else these guys had going on in September, but like Tyler looked happy, right? And I think it added to it that I'm enjoying myself watching him enjoy himself. And I don't know, man. I hope that doesn't sound as cheesy as it comes off, but like it was a good film, and I enjoyed watching him have a good time. I almost felt like relieved for the guy, right? Because I've been watching him for so long, and I've been like so inspired by the Vegan Cyclist that it was good to see him like be able to just chill and enjoy this adventure, right? It was an adventure. And there's some really good moments in there with Tyler, and there's some really good moments in the entire film. Like I absolutely laughed out loud at several moments in this film, right? It's the whole package compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, no.
We were gonna take the gravel bikes out.
No.
How have the gravel bikes been out here?
They're terrible.
I'm kind of made out of rubber, rolling wise. Just the Taco Bell parking lots that give me trouble.
Oh, Jesus.
All of these passes just gradually send you into Shitsville.
I'm doing this on Thursday, December 16th. So the film just came out yesterday, and VC put out a post earlier on Instagram where he was talking about like the love he had for Jeremiah. And man, Jeremiah's like this guy. I don't know him personally. We've communicated back and forth a few times on Instagram, and like I've seen a lot of his work. Obviously, I know he does a lot with Canyon. But man, dude, Jeremiah is just—he seems like a calming presence, and he seems to, especially as this series goes on, he's settling into like that mentor role, and it really shows in this film. And I never get that sense from Jeremiah that it's fake or it's put on for the cameras or whatever. It's like, that's who this dude is. And if anything, it's that other guy you see that's out there fighting to win races and do all of this other stuff that maybe like he has to bring that person out, where this is like his normal state, this mentor state, this, you know, raising up this next generation type of state. And that's weird for me to say because I'm pretty sure I'm older than Jeremiah, but like I love where he's coming from right now. I like where Jeremiah is at, and I think this community, this overall community, is ready for Jeremiah to take that role, because like, man, this guy has so much experience and wisdom and just God-given capabilities. Man, dude, Jeremiah is a monster.
Way harder than I thought. Every pass I underestimated. I need to find some place to lay down. Oh, it feels so good to be horizontal.
I'm not trying to knock Ryan. I know I didn't talk a whole lot about Ryan here. I don't know a whole lot about Ryan, and it was awesome seeing him in this film. I'm not gonna lie, because like, even though he's a pro, he was like the rational point of view, right? Like he kind of knew going into this, like, man, we're biting off a little bit more than we should probably try to chew. And I really appreciated his point of view. And he seemed to just relax and get into it as the film goes on and just start enjoying the ride. And you know it's hard when you got somebody that's from that area that's struggling and was saying like, man, you know, I'm just going to kind of settle in here, enjoy these views, and be along for the ride. And not only was he along for the ride, right? I know that probably sounds bad, but he was in the front most of this day, right? Because this format of this film was a little bit different than the other ones.
And definitely realized I had to keep moving if I wanted to even get to Telluride at all.
I told Jeremiah, I was like, dude, it's going to be hard for you guys to top, for me anyway, that Death Valley ride. I love that Death Valley ride. It just told a complete story, right? The Death Valley Impossible route, you know, ends with Tyler breaking his hip and, you know, that clutch of his daughter at the end. It's something like that any father can relate to, especially, or a cyclist that's been hurt on a ride or doing something or whatever. But I think this is the most entertaining of all of these films. I think that Telluride, Hell Ride is the most entertaining Impossible route so far. Definitely the most beautiful. It's just absolutely gorgeous to watch. And some of the, I don't know who edited it. I thought Tyler edited. I don't know. I need to reach out to him or whoever and find out who actually edited this thing. Maybe it was a collaborative effort, but there's some very good editing going on here. And it felt like a more of a collaborative effort than some of the other ones. And I think the end result is it's the most entertaining of these. Man, go out of your way to watch these. So one of my favorite things about this entire series is that it kind of represents the United States cycling scene. You know, the United States is so diverse, and I don't just mean the people, right? And I'm not trying to just say that. You know, you got deserts, you got wetlands, you got prairies and plateaus and, you know, forests, and we have it all here. And the Impossible route so far, they have done everything, right? They've done a volcano. You know, they did, you know, basically the Appalachian Trail. You know, they did Death Valley into the, you know, now they've done Colorado in the mountains. And some of these climbs were equal to the Tour de France. So I really appreciate what these guys are doing and the fact that they're looking for that diversity with their rides and their routes. I really appreciate that. I think my biggest complaints about the film are they kind of set it up in the beginning that it's going to be a ride, and then it becomes like this race, and then it's sort of a ride again. So it never really gets into that groove of, is this a race or is it a ride? And it works either way, but like, yeah, I think that would have added like some of the drama to it, where if I knew it was a race and these guys were actually trying to, not battle each other. It's probably not the right word, because this was more of a survival thing. Either way, had they went one way or the other, I think it would have just brought the whole story together more. But man, like, that sounds so nitpicky, because like, it's so good, and like what they did was so cool. And I think the jealousy in me is like more prevalent than like being upset over nuances, right? The other complaint is like, so they decided on a specific time frame, and had they given each other more time on either side, right, starting or ending, I felt that they probably could have finished this ride. It would have been very brutal. But what will be interesting to see is if somebody else goes out there and starts an hour or two earlier and goes an hour or two later, if they're going to be able to finish this ride. Because I don't know, man, Jeremiah and Ryan were pretty beat up at the end of that thing. And I believe the interviews that they did were the next day, and they all looked pretty tired, man. I was shocked when I saw like the A-roll interview of Tyler, and then it cut back to him at the start, and he's all like full of energy. I'm like, okay, that's obviously later on, because he was actually spunky. Is that right? I guess that's the right word, spunky, at the beginning of the ride. So all in all, dude, check out the Impossible Route. Man, like, these guys are trying to do something different out there. Tyler has become more of a like true filmmaker now, especially over the last year or so, than just like a regular YouTube video guy. And it's cool, man. I want to support those guys. Hopefully you guys support them. And anyway, Impossible Route 4, Telluride, Hell You Ride. I dig it. I think I still don't know, like, if I like that one better than I like the Death Valley one. I think this one's more entertaining, but I think the Death Valley one is more emotional. I don't know. So I guess it depends on what you like. Watch them both. Tell me what you guys think. All right, that's it for today, guys. Take care. Peace.